your girl Melody, and welcome back to another episode of Anime Episodes Review. So in the last episode, I discussed my first episode review of Fire Force. So this time, second episodes of both Fire Force and Dr. Stone just came out. So first and foremost, let's talk about Dr. Stone episode 2, because wow, there is a lot of scene to go for. And with that, this freaking strand of hair just want a mind of its own. And this one too, I look like Senku. Not close, but Senku it is. So with the second episode coming out, I just want to talk about my review, and there's going to be spoilers ahead. So if you guys haven't watched the second episode and have watched the first episode, you can go watch the first episode that I did reviewing Dr. Stone episode 1. And then you come back here, and then I'll discuss about Dr. Stone episode 2. So yeah, that's the goal here, so that's the dream. So, let's get on with my review. So with the second episode coming out, everyone has been turned to stone. We've been shown a flashback within the second episode. Before the actual episode starts, we got a flashback of everyone before they were turned to stone. The green flash of light appears, and then everyone was turned to stone. The entire world was turned to stone. And then we got a few flashbacks from the first episode where Taiju meets Senku, and they were both petrified. They're both freeing, like, the bird in that scene from the episode 1. And now we get to the second episode. But then, the opening right there. The opening was so good. It's made by Burnout Syndrome, which obviously my favorite kind of band at the current moment, because they sung for Haikyuu too. Yep, they sung for Haikyuu. So with the second episode after the opening, they both went to Yuzuriha. They were making a choice between like, you have a choice to save someone or that they have to save everyone. So Taiju was the one who chooses someone to just revive them, and that obvious choice was Yuzuriha. So they both went to Yuzuriha near the tree that Taiju saw her, and then Senku gave him the liquid thing where they have the petrification and all that. But then this happens. The most comedic scene that I enjoyed the most was Taiju poking Senku's eyes. Picture right here. And I didn't know what to expect, but when Taiju said that you shouldn't look at Yuzuriha because she's naked, but then Senku says like backfires, like bounces the argument, saying that you shouldn't be like that. Everyone can be naked because it's not the stone world. We're not living in a modern world right now. Everyone can be seen naked. But then Taiju bounces the argument back and saying that Yuzuriha needed to wear some clothes and all that. But then all of a sudden, that happens when the lions came. Yep, the lions freaking came. The lions came out of their cages, and then they all chased down Senku and Taiju with stone Yuzuriha in their hands. And then there was this one cool scene where they just jump off a cliff, fall down to the trees, branches, leaves, and everything, and then they were survived somehow by the vines. But then that didn't stop there. The lions spot both of them along with Yuzuriha, and they were all running through the freaking forest. And then this happened. Taiju just threw stone Yuzuriha into Senku's hands and say that he needed to do the protecting. He wanted to fight off the lions, like he wanted to be the shield. But then Senku just bounces the argument again, saying that he wanted to, and if they should run together. That they need every one of them, and they won't lose each other, so that afterwards they retreat. But then Taiju remembers someone who can fight them off, and that was from the first episode who made his cameo appearance, which was Shishio Tsukasa. The picture right here of what he looks like. So that Taiju pours the liquid onto Tsukasa, and then the lions came, and that they were both surrounded until Tsukasa was trying to break free. All the stone was cracking onto his face and all of the rest of his body, and then he freaking punched the freaking lion, and the rest of the lions were scared and they had to run away. And then Taiju was like, oh, he's so cool. I'm glad he was on his side. But then Senku was just like, I don't believe this guy. I don't trust him. Because he's not 10 billion% that he was trusted by this guy. So then Tsukasa joins in and takes him back to the camp, along with having to be the fighting one. He gathered all of the food. There were wild boars and fish. He gathered all of them, and they were livestocking of food. So yeah. Afterwards, things started to go from there. Taiju was collecting shells on the beach because there were some uses for how they wanted to do with the civilization and trying to evolve. So then he was collecting shells and they were making calcium carbonate. I think that's what he said, what Senku said. They were collecting calcium carbonate coming from shells, and Taiju was the one who did all of the crushing of the shells and turning them into powder. And then Senku had the most good ideas of 3 things: turning them into soap, turning them into cement, and then I can't remember the other one because I am a dummy when it comes to science. And then Tsukasa was just like, oh gosh. I was gonna be like, I'm glad I'm on your side and that I'm gonna be the one helping you out. And then afterwards, we have this like sleeping scene afterwards, and that they were all on the beach after like that one scene within the episode. It was like close to the ending. So then Tsukasa was telling the story of how this one little kid just says like he was collecting shells for his little sister, because she was going under surgery, and wanted to feel like she was the Little Mermaid, because the little sister of that little kid was the sister's favorite movie was The Little Mermaid. However, there's this one guy who beat the kid up because he was stealing shells, and that's why he was never unable to help his little sister before she even burned to a crisp. I'll have to use that clip whenever something morbid happens. And then he was saying to Senku that we shouldn't have these humans, we shouldn't have the adults coming back and saying like, pay your rents, pay your taxes and all that. He doesn't want to bring the modern civilization to come back. However, Senku disagrees with him, and that's what happens when they cross paths. And with that being said, the 3rd episode is coming to life. Weapons of Science. Now, the 3rd episode is going to be an interesting one because it's the weapon of science. Who knows? They're going to be making, like, the freaking awesome weapons, like those spears and all that. Maybe they're trying to evolve from the stone world. So, yeah, I'm now waiting on the 3rd episode. This is just kind of a lame review. I don't even know what's wrong with me from the past 2 episodes. But still, 3rd episode, Weapons of Science, is the name of this episode, and I'm excited for that. And now I have to move on and watch the 2nd episode of Fire Force. So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Anime Episodes Reviews. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to leave your comments down below of what kind of video should I make next, along with your anime suggestions that I want to be watching. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you love anime, and if you especially love the newly adaptation of anime, which is Dr. Stone and Fire Force. Leave a thumbs up on this video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notified of every upload that I do. And as for now, I'm headed out to my mission, signing off. I'm hoping what I said could